So apparently I can't record something I like without someone saying something about what I'm doing. I'm going to be talking about the difference between Team Fortress 2 and Typical Colors 2 and the slight difference in the mechanics that makes them different from one another. One small thing about the difference between Team Fortress 2 and Typical Colors 2 are the lunchbox items. Whenever the Team Fortress 2 heavy tosses a sandwich, there is no voice line, making it harder to kill someone who is hard focused on a medkit. And the lunchbox heals any players, no matter what team they're on. Meanwhile, in the Typical Colors 2 lunchbox items, the Brute has voice lines for tossing a sandwich, alerting both teams and enemies of your healing. Plus, it doesn't heal the other team, meaning it's safe to toss it into the enemy's battlements. Onto the Spy, because I've mained this class for so long. When you disguise in Team Fortress 2, you could quick disguise as a previous class, and you could switch disguise weapon.
Begins in 60 seconds.
Meanwhile, in Typical Colors, you can't quick disguise or change disguise weapon. In Typical Colors, the payload will heal you when you're disguised, unlike the payload from Team Fortress 2. With the Cloak and Dagger of Team Fortress 2, you can continue moving around even if your cloak meter is drained. In Typical Colors 2, it will just decloak you as soon as you're drained. In Typical Colors, the Your Eternal Reward can disguise you on kill instead of on backstab, making it a big earner, but for disguise instead of speed. Gameplay-wise, Team Fortress 2 is a lot longer than Typical Colors because of the fact that you have to play as both attack and defend, and some of the other maps have like 3 separate parts to it, making the game much longer to play. Meanwhile, in Typical Colors 2, as soon as you play the game, you don't automatically switch teams unless you're auto-balanced, and you don't have to play attack and defend. Plus, the Capture the Flag game mode has no timer on Team Fortress 2, while in Typical Colors there is a timer that would go on a stalemate if there is overtime, but will go to sudden death if it's a draw when the timer runs out. In Typical Colors there is a class limit, like in Arena, but it's annoying at times. An additional mechanic for the Spy in Typical Colors is the fact that there are mini-crit backstabs and critical backstabs. My original thought was the mini-crit backstabs were meant to prevent face stabbing. Apparently not. The mini-crit backstabs is for apparently whenever a spy misses a critical backstab, instead of punishing the player for missing, they reward them with less damage, which could be a bit of a problem at times.